Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome back to this new video here on Onyxcoin or XCN. Still looking up some things I want to reference later in the video, but we're going to do a full update on the current situation. As most of you know, it's been a while since I covered this, and in general, XCN has not been in a great position, as you can see on the 1 hour time frame. This was as expected, right? I mean, if you watch my last video, I told you that I did not think that XCN or Onyx, whatever you want to call it, was strong enough to push above our main resistance level here at 1.45 cents. So what I said is that I think it's more likely that we're going to reject from that and slowly drop all the way down to 1 cent again. So that is what has been happening. So I guess that's the good news, right? So that this was to be expected. But I know a lot of people who have accumulated XCN. I know a lot of people who are still holding XCN and are still buying it. And it's obviously not good news, right? So I wanted to give you my thoughts on the current situation. There's not much fundamentally going on with XCN, and we've actually had some pretty severe sales going on right here, as you can see. Since last week, Wednesday, especially also Thursday, we had a major sale, which also spiked up the volume. And then also right here, Saturday, the 22nd of March. So there's still a lot of selling going on. We're still in a big downtrend. But as we know, or as most of you know, XCN will have these occasional pumps. So that's also the main thing that I wanted to focus on, all right? Can we actually expect one of these short squeezes? Can we actually expect some of these pumps? Where could we go? Which level would need to break? How can we actually know that one of these pumps is coming, etc.? Now, fundamentally, as I tried to say earlier, but then I got distracted by some other things. Fundamentally, there's not much to talk about. I mean, Onyxcoin is obviously still pushing some updates here and there, but it's nothing really substantial. There's nothing that's pushing up or down the price, in my opinion. So then, and then outside of that, what's unfortunately true is that the funding rate for Onyx is also not great. Back in January, when Onyx was really rallying hard, but also back in the middle of February, we had some relatively negative funding rates, which basically mean that the coin is over shorted, and that and that creates an incentive to buy XCN and to actually get one of these pumps, one of these short squeezes. And right now the funding rates are relatively normalized. So unfortunately, that is not a reason which we can look at and say, you know, that might actually push the price up. And I think in general, it's also, look, the funding rates turn negative if a coin is shorted, all right? So the funding rates here during this period of time were quite negative because a lot of people were shorting the coin, pushing down the price. Now that's not the case. So the conclusion that we have to draw then is to say, all right, well, XCN might not be as shorted again. This might just be real selling, real spot selling. And that's not great, all right? You would much rather have a coin that's being shorted because then you have an incentive to buy and push up the price than a coin that's being spot sold, because that means that it's just bearish. Now, for me, look, I don't see any reason right now as to why I should expect a short squeeze, a pump like this. Not fundamentally nor technically. I do think, I mean, the main key level we have right here is this level right here around 1.2 and 1.17 cents. I think if we actually get some sort of a bullish breakout above that with volume, because the volume for XCN has also dropped down to super low amounts. If we get that, then that's an indication that we're going to get that short squeeze, and that's technically possible at any moment. All right, it's pretty random when it happens, but like I said, even though this is a possibility, there's no indication leading towards that right now. There's no volume increase right now. The breakout hasn't happened, so therefore, even though it's interesting to keep an eye on, I would still say it's most likely we're going to trend down lower. And those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. Unfortunately, on XCN, 1 cent is an interesting level, so that's definitely one to keep our eyes on, and I will keep you updated on that as well. But that's it. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.